Hello and welcome to my review of the LEGO Lord of the Rings set number 9469, Gandalf Arrives. With just 83 pieces, it's a really small set released in 2012, retailing for just $13. Nowadays, sealed in box, it'll cost you well over $100. So this one is not a cheap set nowadays, even though it is a very small and simple set. Judging the book by its cover, I do really like how simple it is for the scene that it represents in that first Lord of the Rings movie. I just think this is a really nice set to start you out in the Lord of the Rings lineup, or at least back in 2012 starting out. Like I said, $100, not quite a starter price at this point. The back of the box has Frodo and Gandalf performing some actions within the set, and it has a small advertisement for the LEGO Lord of the Rings video game, which is kind of cool. I hate doing thumb tabs, so we're going to use a knife to cut this out because I can't stand to see a good box get thumb tabbed at this point. You know, I paid $100 for this. Oh, the horse comes not in a bag. That's kind of cool. This is old reddish brown, so this is going to break the second I even try to move it, so we're not going to touch it. Looks like we've got a couple bags, unnumbered, of course, just 83 pieces. And then the instructions have a very nice Lord of the Rings theme to them with this kind of off-white yellowish color for all the pages, and it's kind of got the map worked into the instructions. That is a real nice touch that you probably wouldn't see in a LEGO set today, so LEGO 2012 really doing numbers here. There's the Mines of Moria. It shows all the figures on a checklist. Man, 2012, times are different, huh? The first and biggest minifigure in the set is Gandalf the Grey. He comes with his magic staff. He's got his great gray wizard hat. He's got a gray cape, and of course, just general grayness to him, including his beard for his age. And what's interesting about this figure to me is it's a very 2012 figure. I mean, it's got no leg printing. It's got a really good torso print, but it's, you know, that's 2012 for you. That's what you're getting. No double-sided face, because you would see that double face on the other side underneath the wizard hat. But like I said, what's interesting to me is that at the time they touted this as an exclusive minifigure on the web pages, but they also released him in a polybag in the same year that this set came out, 2012, and then 2 more sets the next year. It's just one of those odd quirks of LEGO marketing. Like, why would you advertise something as exclusive when you know it's not going to be for very long? Then again, literally everything ever is exclusive until it's not, so why not just advertise everything as exclusive as far as minifigures go? I don't know, it's kind of dumb to me, but that's what it was in the day. Doesn't make this a bad figure, it's just a common one, and of course just had to be in this set, and it works perfectly here. The next minifigure here is Frodo, an amazing looking minifigure with the very short legs in dark brown there. Looks very good. You can see a very good outfit for him. Really nice color matching for a lot of this, except on the torso, where you can see the skin tone is just way too tan to match the color of his actual skin, like that the LEGO is. So like really one of those problems that LEGO has had for at least a decade now, where they cannot get these 2 colors to match. And it's a little bit maddening because it looks particularly bad, but otherwise a very good figure, and he does have 2 faces, so that's a nice thing as well. Just double the expressions never hurts. We'll start with the horse and carriage and add in all the accessories as we work our way through to see what fun they've thrown in there for us. But the horse itself is very beautiful. It's got a very nice face print with a dash of white on there, and then all the straps around its face to control it, essentially. And then we have the posable legs at the back, which, even though it's the old brown, I was able to move a little bit, and it's not something I'm that worried about now that I've felt it move. It doesn't feel like creaky or cracky, if that makes sense. Like, you can kind of feel it when a piece is about to crack sometimes. Doesn't feel like that in this particular case. And then the actual middle of the horse is typically like it comes like this, right? And then you add the bricks in. So this is how it's pulled along, or at least it pulls the carriage along. And then if you want to, you can actually completely take that off. You can throw that aside and just have yourself a nice little horsey. Don't really know why you would. Kind of makes the set feel weird and incomplete when you pull it apart like that, but it's always an option. Now behind the horse, the carriage does have 2 very nice low friction wheels. You can see they stay spinning long after I push on it, which is really cool. They also just feel really smooth on a nice smooth surface. It's kind of cool to see the horse get dragged around by the wheels and stuff, so it's kind of fun from that perspective. I'm sure some kids were able to have a lot of fun with a set like this, just playing with it in this type of fashion. Obviously that's not what I as a collector look for, but that's still a nice function of it back when it was a retail set. Now, when we look at the top here, you'll see 3 specific areas with studs. The front stud is really going to be for Gandalf here, and he can either stand at the front, so you can have him standing up, and honestly it looks a little bit awkward to have him standing there. I wouldn't myself, if I was going to display this, have him standing like that, but you can also have him sit down, and there's just enough space back here for his cape to kind of slip between the back section of the carriage and where he is currently seated. If you're careful with it, as you can see, I've got this side caught, but the other side is going to be good. It's something that if you take your time and you're careful, you could be well off with, but if you don't, you could end up with a pretty bent cape, because that's definitely something that can happen with these tougher Lego capes. Now, behind that is another stud, and on that stud, they had me in the instructions place a backpack, and within that backpack is Gandalf's letter to Frodo. So that's a very nice touch in there, just something small as far as the detail goes that can help create a story within a set. And then as we look to the final stud at the back, there's actually a barrel included in which you can place your fireworks. So those are nice to have included. However, I do find that they fall out of the barrel, in my opinion, a little bit too easily, annoyingly so. Like just moving the set from one place to another, I often have them fall out, so that's a little bit annoying. There's also a carrot that's kind of thrown in there, and there's also a book here, and the book is in brown, and unfortunately it just like it didn't have like these stress marks when I first got it, right? Like brand new out of the box. However, like as soon as I opened it once, these stress marks appeared. But you can have Frodo hold on to the book if you want to, but there's nothing in it or anything. I guess you could put the letter from Gandalf in there if you really wanted to, but otherwise it's just kind of an empty book there with nothing going on. The book is also just objectively huge, like compared to the figure, so it's a little bit funny to me in that regard too, but nothing crazy there. It's just a book included in like overall a very nice carriage. For as small as it is a rather intriguing build because of the angle at the sides of the carriage. I just really enjoyed building that part, and it's something fun and a lot better than you would think they could do in just a $13 set at the time. For over $100 new in box, I wouldn't rush out to buy one of these nowadays, but if you can get a good cheap deal on a used one, I think it's something that would be very nice to add to anyone's Lord of the Rings collection. And because it's from the beginning of the first Lord of the Rings movie, to me, it's just kind of is this iconic thing. It's the cart, it's got Gandalf, and the box art's fun. Yeah, it's just a fun one. So if you can get a good deal on it, go wild. It's just hard to recommend spending over $100 on a set that used to cost $10, but this is a fantastic set. 9 out of 10 for me. You can check out more LEGO Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit set reviews on the end screen now.